Well, good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I've had a few last-minute setup issues, but welcome to Delta T Racing Thursday night, and it is Division 2. Not had many streams for Division 2 this year. Unfortunately, we've had sort of issues with commentators getting enough in. I myself was racing in Division 2, but have dropped out for the season, and will cover the commentary until the end of the season. Right, okay, so let's get into action. Right, we are here, round number 8 from Suzuka, Japan. And as you can see, it is absolutely pouring down. We are out on the wet tyres. So I'm just going to check, make sure that we do have some sound. 8 from Suzuka. Okay, so I think we are all good. Okay, right, let's get back on with it. So who do we have out on track at the moment? What we do, we just get all the spectator menus up. I'll have all this sorted out in advance for next week. So I've had a few graphics card issues as well. So a bit last minute surgery by nicking the graphics card off of my son. Out of his PC, putting it in here, managing to get it working tonight. I don't think he'll be very happy when he gets home, but who cares? We can get a stream on for DTR. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the driver's table. That's what I was going to say. Sorry, apologies. Right, okay, so as you can see, Guna leading the way on 114 points, 3 points clear of Mbeni on 111, and we've got a bit of a gap back to Little Mikey on 87 points, Kavolis in fourth on 70, Setterbold on 68, and Bogarovsky running out top 6 on 60. So I expect a few of those changes, especially looking down TGL Stewart down in 11th. I think he is good for some points, whether he'll get any here. Obviously, Guna not racing today, so a good opportunity for Benny to stretch his legs, and he was pretty good around here yesterday in Division 1, so I'm expecting high things from him again tonight. Let's have a quick look at the constructors. See Williams leading the way, 149 points against the Ferraris on 144 points, so just 5 points difference there. The Alpine in third, McLaren in fourth, and the Red Bull in fifth position. Right, okay. Let's get rid of that now. Okay, and what I do want to do is just turn my volume up on my actual game. And so hopefully it's okay for yourselves, but I could not hear it at all. So right, jumping on board, we've got Stuart, who has invalidated. I think people are going to early on, just whilst they, well, just try and find the track limits, to be honest with you. As they won't have had any practice in the wet. But it looks like Felix will set a time, so he'll be the target. Good to see him back. I mean, he is weaving away, so he's going to be slow unless he's on an outlap. Which he is, yes. Learn to read, Neil. Okay, so Pip Key putting in the fastest lap. So we've got a 1:49.334 for everybody else to chase down. So that's just a benchmark and a target time. The times are going to get quicker and quicker. So I don't know if the conditions are going to improve, and I don't know whether they're going to carry on through into the rain. Summers there with a 47.3, so straight away 2 seconds quicker than anybody else so far. Cassell, I think, is going to be next, 49.5, but he invalidated, so that is not going to count. Then looks like we've got the Alpines. Yep, just getting there with little Mikey. I missed that one. Magic Poop Cannon 49.3. So let's have a quick look at my teammate Bog, just coming into the final chicane onto the last bend. Let's see what time he can put in. 48.441. So Bogarovsky up into second place, just behind Summers. But as I say, still very early days. We're going to see an awful lot change and very quickly. And this guy and Benny is likely to make a change. Purple sector 2 there, so looking to put himself up at the front of this grid. 47.3 so far the time to beat. Benny coming round the final turn now and puts in a 45.2, so again a further 2-second spread to the rest of the field. I think we're then going to come to the guys that are coming in. Yeah, Cavolis into the pits. Oh, who's the blue? Is that Romero? No. Oh well, I've just missed a load of people there by trying to pick them up. Right, where is Stewart and how is Stewart getting on? Just starting his lap now. Zettervall has retired from the session. I assume he is playing his Joker tonight. I will have a look in a moment just to see who is playing their Joker and who isn't. I've got a feeling it's definitely Zettervall, and I think Cavolis as well made a late decision to play his as well. Obviously after today I think there's only 2 rounds left that you can play them in, so advisable to use them as soon as you can next week, obviously being an all tyres compound. Then we've got another, I think another sprint. Whoa, there we go. We have, was that Stewart? No, it wasn't Stewart. It was Stewart trying to get past the Alpine of, was that little Mikey? No, it was the other Alpine of Wazza. Yeah, so Wazza causing a little bit of grief there for Stewart. So Stewart is going to be down on that time. Is he aborting his lap? Probably just going to put one on the board and then go again, as long as he's not got any wing damage. So a lot of people do, in wet conditions, put in only between sort of 4 and 6 laps of fuel and just go out and drive round and round and round. I mean, A, the track gets a lot quicker, but B, just getting yourself used to those conditions. But again, I am not sure if this is a the weather that we're going to see in the race. We will find out. Right, who is the furthest from round? So Benny, is he improving? No, he's 5 seconds down, so he will be aborting coming in. Felix into the pits as well. Okay, then we're next gonna have the Aston Martin of Cassell. I didn't see Cassell pop himself up into second place there. Actually 46.2. Summers 46.4 as well. I think just improving on his earlier time. As I say, the times are going to tumble. So what we'll do, we'll hide the tyres as well. But as you can see, I mean, the top 5 have done 3 laps on that set of tyres. TGL Stewart deciding to go on to the intermediates. So it'll be interesting to see. Actually, I'm going to leave tyres up just to see if he does come out of the pits on those inters, or whether he is just putting them on whilst he's in the pit lane, but we'll find out soon. Okay, purple sector 1 there by Cassell. Where's Benny? Further up the road, 1.9 seconds down, but Cassell is 0.6 up on his time, so we'll be looking at about 15.6. Still a second to find, but that is only sector 1. Still a long way to go as he comes up towards, where is he coming up towards Spoon? So again, you can make a lot of time through Spoon if you can get the exit right and on the power early going up the hill towards 130R. You really can make up some time there. You can also lose a lot if you go, if you lose traction, or you can get an easy warning if you run wide. So a very fine balance, but one of the main overtaking opportunities here coming up towards 130R. Also down the start-finish straight. Obviously being the main one, certainly during dry conditions with the DRS active, just the one zone here. But here we go, Cassell crosses line 44.5 and does indeed take provisional pole position. But Benny is up on his time as well. Bogorovsky 0.6 up on his time as well. So looking to get into the 145s, I think, if he can. Just going to watch him now coming around the final bend. Poop Cannon just in front of him is starting a lap. So Bog, what can he do? Currently at 46.8, puts it 45.9, so he is just into the 45s. Still, it's over a second off of the fastest time posted at the moment by Cassell. But Benny now coming up towards the final chicane, 4/10 up on his time, so could be looking at a very low 144 here. Probably down into the 2s or the 1s, and he aborts and comes into the pits. Right, well, we'll keep an eye on him to see what his final run is going to be. But we've got quite a few now on the inters. Now, Stewart was the first person to take the gamble, certainly in the pits. Looks like he is, yeah, he's the only one out on track as well. So I'm sure everyone else will be looking eagerly at this time just to see whether the track conditions are improving, or how quickly they are improving, whether they are ready for a set of intermediates, or whether it's going to be wets to the end. Still 6 minutes to go, so conditions can change. Okay, just having a quick look at the chat to see if there's anything going on in there. There isn't. So far, so good. Also, please remember at the same time tonight, Division 3 are the guys are racing there as well. Johnny doing very well in that division. Be looking to try and tie up that title towards the end. He's been pretty close a few times before, but I don't think he's ever actually stood on the top step of that championship, so it'll be a well-deserved effort by him. But if you're bored of me, you can always look for the other DTR channel, which will have VB Thomas commentating on Division 3, or you can stick here and listen to me. But anyway, TGL Stewart putting provisional pole 43.0 on the intermediate, so that's 1.5 seconds quicker. So I think we're going to see a plethora of intermediates coming out now. Felix is going to be the next one, actually on a lap on his inters. Oh, Reliot as well. Who's the furthest round? Yep, it's going to be Reliot. It's going to be the next person to cross the lines. Just keep an eye on his time, see how he's getting on. Coming up to the end of Sector 2 now. He hasn't set a time, so we have no relative to actually get off of him, but looking at Felix, 1.8 second improvement. That's going to take him down into the 46s, probably even below. But let's see what Reliot can do coming through the final turn now. As you can see, the rain has pretty much stopped. There's no puddles out there, so inters are going to be the best way. But a 45.5 there for Reliot, and Felix with a 42.7 provisional pole position. Right, how are the other guys getting on that are on the inters? Little Mikey, is he coming? No, he's just started. Summers is on an outlap as well. Pipkey, I think, is going to be the furthest one round. So we're just going to keep an eye just to see how much this track is improving. So it is 47.7. We are coming round to Spoon now. It's a difficult corner to get your braking right here, but as I say again, if you can get traction and get on acceleration early, you can make up a place or make up so much time during qualifying going up this hill. There we are, 3.7 seconds up, so it's a 144 at least for Pipkey, and we've still got this final chicane and corner to go. But traction is also important, so obviously a massive improvement on the wet conditions, and he pops in a 42.6. Goodness me, so he was over, well, I think he made up about half a second in that final sector, which is pretty rare, to be honest with you. Not a lot of time you can make up there, but obviously the conditions are huge. So 3.4 seconds up by Mikey, ends up 4.2, so again making up 0.8 in that final sector. So we are drying out. As Benny doing 1.4 up on his time. Okay, perhaps not as much as the others, but when you're looking, he was a second and a half quicker than people anyway. Still a mighty effort. So now coming into the final chicane. Jump that curb onto that curb, taking it easy onto the accelerator, keep it nice and tight. Maybe lost a little bit just around there, but 41.3. There we go. Stewart 2 seconds up as well, 43.0. Looks like it's going to be. Could he get down to the 41s as well? He can. 40 flat. My goodness me, it really is drying. So these times are going to tumble. So I need to really keep an eye on everybody that's coming across the line, because they're going to get quicker and quicker and quicker, I think. Right, so first across it is going to be... Right, no, Kazingle's going to be starting a lap. So behind him is at the Red Bull. I'm really dreadful with these blues. No, it's Pipke. So can Pipke improve on his 42.6? He does not, but it looks like he might have had an ease off lap and then he'll come back to it. Right, so next Alpine of Mikey, 3/4 of a second up on his time at the moment. Will be good enough to pop in 42.5. We'll see what he can make up in this final. 42.4 up into third place there for little Mikey. So this is going to change quickly. Cassell 3 seconds up and gets second place on the provisional grid. I'm going to miss a few here now. Trying to catch up with who's coming across. Right, is that Felix? No, it's Reliot who's going to be next to cross the line. 1.7 seconds down on his time, but 20 seconds left. He will have one last effort. Bogorovsky coming across the line, 42.0 up into fourth place. So a good lap there by Bog. Okay, right, I need to find out who is the first person. So Stewart is done for the day. So his 40 flat is the target for everybody else. Just behind him is, I think, his teammate of Kazingle. So Jack coming into the final chicane now. See what time he can pop on the board. I missed Felix as well, 42.7, but he is on the wet. So Kazingle does improve in time, but positions down in 12th. But I think he'll be strong during the race. Right. So how is Felix finished? Okay, don't get that one. Right. Anyway, let's have a look. Who is next? Another Alpine. Is it little Mikey? It is, and he aborts for the day. We've then got the Red Bull of Magic. Haven't mentioned him much. 10th place at the moment, 45.6. Pops himself up into 5th position. So a strong finish there. Benny now coming into the final turn. I think just behind Reliot there. So we'll see what time Benny can put on the 39.6. Bang, there we go. Thank you very much. I'll have that pole position. Right, so Bogorovsky just missed him up into 5th position. So a good qualifying session by Bog. Then we have, is that the Williams of Summers? No, it's not. It's the Alpine of Wazza, who I think is, well, he's invalidated anyway, so we'll move from that. Summers put in a 42.3, jump up into 8th position, and that is qualifying closing. So Benny taking pole position. I said he was going to be strong here, and I expect him to be strong in the race as well. TGL Stewart getting 2nd place and a place alongside Benny on the front row of the grid. Cassell and Pipke making up the 2nd row, and then Bogorovsky and Magic Poop Cannon on the 3rd row. We'll go through the rest in just a moment. Okay, so as I say, Benny taking pole position, and Stuart joining him on the front row of the grid. Then on row 2 we have Cassell and Pipke. Row 3 we have Bogorovsky and Magic Poop Cannon. Row 4 we have Reliot and D Summers. Row 5 consists of Little Mikey and Felix the Pirate. On row 6 we've got Romero and Waza. Row 7 Kazingal and Zetaval, and Kavolis on the back his own on row 8. Obviously, Zetterville and Cavolis playing their jokers. So for anyone that's not aware with the joker system, you have to play your joker once in a season, or you only have it available once and you have to use it. When you play it, you start at the back of the grid. Basically, you do one out lap in qualifying and then retire, and your grid position is then basically decided from there, but normally at the back of the grid. You'll then hopefully work your way up during the race to score points. Any points that you score are doubled. So obviously if you go on and win the race, that's a good 50 points that you've got in the bag. Has been done before, will be done again, I'm absolutely sure. Whether it'll be here or not, I don't know. Zetavol's been very strong this season. So more than capable of picking up those extra points, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, just needed to check something out there, which I have done. Now, get back to the race. Right, okay, so again, don't know if it's wet or dry. Last night we saw a a safety car, which obviously mixed up the tyre strategy, but I think we were looking at 1 or 2 stops. Obviously, the hard to medium, medium to hard being the 1-stop option, but really will eat your tyre. You have to be good on the tyres. I mean, the other one is obviously the 2-stopper, where I think soft, medium, medium is possible, but medium, hard, medium, or something is probably the better way to go. But we'll see what people decide tonight. I am wittering at the moment, so I'll stop that. Just again need to adjust something, which I have done. Right, okay, so back to the grid. Let's have a look, see what tyres everybody has gone for. Right, okay, so everybody on medium or hards. Basically the hard runners, Pipke in 4th, Bogorovsky in 5th, so they'll be looking to go long if they can. Romero in 11th, then we've got Kazingal in 13th and Zetaval in 14th, all on the hard tyres. Everybody else going for the medium option. So Zeta will obviously be hoping to go long and make up some places from the back of the grid. Bog will be, well, Bog and Pipke will be looking to go longer than those in front and try and be on the quicker tyre towards the end, but it's not always that easy. So anyway, wittering again. We already have a couple of disqualifications there with Waza and Kazingal making a little bit of contact on the formation lap, which means they are reset to the starting grid. Not disqualified from the race, they get to take part, but they are disqualified from the formation lap, which means they will have colder tyres than everybody else. So Jack on a set of hards, that really is not much of a help at all. Okay, so as I say, Guna missing tonight, so Benny has a really good chance to take the lead of the championship in Division 2. Guna unfortunately having wheel issues at the moment, so unable to take part. Hopefully he gets that resolved and can get back on the grid for next week, or as soon as possible anyway. Right, so coming around now to form the grid. There you can see Waza and Kazingal sitting in position. Be playing a game of Tetris or something on the phone whilst they're waiting for everybody else to join up. But the last person on the grid will be Kavolis, as I say, not down to qualifying, but because he's playing his Joker along with Zetterol. So the last two people on there playing their Jokers. Right, here we go. Waiting for the lights to start the Japanese Grand Prix round number 8. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights are out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. Looks like a decent start by the front two there. But on the inside, Stewart looking for the move going into turn number 1. Does not make it, but everybody else seems to make it round. We have no contact there. So let's get back to the front where Benny has kept that position and looking to solidify that lead. Had a little bit of contact at the back. Looks like Romero might have just had a bit of an incident there. We've got little Mikey going wide. I'm wondering if it could have been him, if he is missing any end plate or anything. But Wazza also having a torrid time. So, oh, Wazza going wide there. So not a great opening lap for the Alpines. Down in 13th and 14th position. But it could be where it looks like Zetterville is really struggling. Oh, and somebody's off there. That is Wazza straight on at the hairpin. And brings out, is that a safety car? It is. They're going to have the safety car on lap number 1. So Wazza not lasting very long at all in this race, going up into the hairpin on lap number 1. But it looked like he got involved in a couple of incidents before then. So not quite sure what went on. We should see some replays later. But yeah, a little bit of mayhem going on there. And not a good start for the Alpine drivers down in 13th and the wall. So not a good start there. But Benny managed to keep the lead going around turn 1. Stewart looking very aggressive up the inside. But both gave each other space, made the corner well. Benny just had the better traction around the outside. So do we have any pitters? I wouldn't have thought we'd have any pitters on the first lap unless someone has damage. But yeah, so Benny keeping the lead. Gap was, well, it was too early. We weren't even a lap, to be honest. But Cassell in 3rd position. We'll have a quick look to see the position changes. As I say, the top 4 have remained static. Buchanan and Bogorovsky exchanging positions in 5th and 6th. Then Reliot and Summers in 7th and 8th remaining the same. Then obviously we've got a bit of movement further down. Kavolis up 5 from the back of the grid. But I think part of that was managing to avoid the, well, I think Wazza, Zetterville, maybe Lil Mike and Kazingle got involved in something there. But anyway, Kavolis up 5, Felix up 1 as well. Biggest losers, Romero obviously down 3, Lil Mikey down 3 as well. Probably the biggest loser, Wazza, out of the race. Okay, so let's get rid of that for now. But Benny really needs to seize this opportunity tonight if he can, just to overtake Guna. Obviously, you know, potentially Guna could be missing for a few races with his steering wheel issues. So Benny really wants to take advantage of that if he can. 3rd place would also be looking to sort of close up as best they can. Let's just bring the table up if I can. Phone's just deciding to reset itself, so. So yeah, driver's table, here we go. Okay, so Guna, so leading the way on 114 points, Benny on 111, Mikey in 3rd position on 87th points. Not looking great for him in the race at the moment, down in 12th position, but a long way to go. We've only had 3/4 of a lap of green flag racing. I think looking at it, the field has closed up, so the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. But Kavolis on 70 points in 4th, obviously where he is at the moment, picking up the 1 point in 10th, but double that because of the Joker would give him 2 points. So he'll be looking to move his way up that division, or up that leaderboard if he can. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. But we should, as I say, at the end of this lap, be back to green flag racing. So nobody has made... Oh, Zettel and Romero both made a pit stop at the back. That was obviously down to damage that they'd sustained during that opening lap. So both choosing a set of mediums. So probably going to go medium now until the end if they have them available. So an added twist in this season with the softer balanced or harder tyres is your allocation during the race. Previous years it's not really been too much to think about, really. Yeah, pretty much everybody went balanced or softer, but this year you really have to look at your tyre management, what tyres you want available. Some will have 2 sets of hard, some will have 2 sets of mediums, so very important to get it right. Right, safety car should be in this lap. It will be very late because the safety car line is, well, just there. Well, not the safety car, but the third sector, start the third sector. So Benny will become the de facto pace car, will bunch people up. Where is he going to go? A lot of people will go out of the chicane or on the apex of the final bend, just wherever they can get their traction, to be honest with you. So we are waiting. Benny is going to leave it a bit. He's gone. He's gone. Okay, so let's have a look just to see if anybody else has got a jump. I think it all looks pretty even at the moment, although we do have Summers overtaking Felix there. And Rollier as well. So it looked like a double overtake. Both Ferraris there for Summers. Puts him up into 7th position. So he'll be hot on the heels of Bogorovsky in 6th now. So we'll have a couple of laps, or at the end of this lap we will have DRS enabled, but obviously with only the one DRS zone it will not become applicable until the start of the following lap. Right, let's jump back. So Mikey now making up a couple of places, or is Reliot? Yeah, looks like Reliot's dropped a few places there. Was ahead of his teammate up in 8th position, but now dropped down to 14th at the tail end of the grid. So little Mikey making his way back up into 9th position now, but does have a second gap on the car in front. That's it. Just drag that in now. Just make sure you are within that 1 second for the DRS detection. You go. Oh, jeez! What happened there with Mikey? Well, I'm not quite sure what to say about that, to be honest. I was just watching Mikey seem to come up the hill and then turn off at an angle. So are we going to get another safety car? We are going to have our second safety car, and we are only on lap number 5. Both of the Alpines out of the race. Jeez, well, and there's the safety car just coming around there, so everybody will get to go past. So if the front do decide to pit, they can do, but they are likely to lose positions to people behind. But you've got Cassell, Reliot, everybody that hadn't crossed that line has come into the pits. So Zetterall 8.7 seconds behind, but he'll get to close that up. Got a fresh set of hards on. 22 laps to the end of the race is a bit of a struggle, so I think he would have to stop again. But then the way this race is going so far, you only need enough to get you through 3 or 4 laps. In fact, not even that. Did we have a lap of racing? Don't believe we did. No, I don't think we've had a lap of racing yet. Okay, so Benny coming round Spoon. He'll go up the hill round 130R into the final chicane onto the start finish line. The safety car waiting just at the beginning of the centre S's for him. So just needs to be careful around that final corner. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at the standings as they are. Just waiting to see if anybody else comes into the pits. Doesn't look like they are. So Benny still leading the way. As I say, obviously we've only probably had about a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps of racing so far. Unfortunately, the Alpines both exiting the race early. But yeah, Benny leading the way, Stewart in second, Pipke third, Magic Poop Cannon in fourth, Bogorovsky in fifth. Summers working his way up into sixth position. Then we've got Felix Lapira in the Ferrari, Kazingle in eighth, Romero and Cassell rounding out the top 10. Rediot will be looking to recover. As I say, I'm not quite sure what happened, whether there was contact or potentially catching a curb. But literally here, I think it was. I say easily done, but yeah, dropping down the field from, I think it was 7th or 8th down into 14th at the time. But he'll work his way back. Kavolis and Zetterol both, as we said, playing their jokers, but will be on fresh tyres. And we'll see where they can finish off. So, right. Field is nowhere near bunched up yet. We've got Zetterol and Kavolis quite a way back. They'll need to catch up before that safety car will think about coming in. Again, apologies, I just need to check something. Right. Have a look at some changes. So stop-wise, we've got Romero. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th have all pitted. Zetterol in 13th, unfortunately pitting twice, but will still be at the tail end of this field once he catches up, probably going round turn 1. Hopefully the safety car will then be in at the end of this lap. So tyre-wise, we have Pipke in 3rd and Bogorovsky in 5th on their original hard tyres. Not going to be a huge amount of wear, considering probably three-quarters of the laps completed have been behind the safety car, so not putting too much stress through those tyres. But also it is important to keep the heat in them, especially on those hards, and very difficult to do. But I think Bog was starting to weave there just to get some heat into those tyres for the restart. I also need to get your heat into the brakes as well, and sometimes a little bit of dragging can help. Used to help to increase your tyre temperature as well, but unfortunately no longer available on the game. No penalties either, so we are looking good and clean so far. So you don't know how many warnings people have. Okay, so we'll be ready to go. Zetterol has now caught up, and we are approaching the end of sector 2. Is the safety car going to come in this lap? It is. Yep, again a really late call. Doesn't give you long to back the field up here and allow the safety car to come in. But Benny doing a good job so far. Stewart getting nice and close. So what we'll do is I'm going to jump on board with Pipke. And we'll have what happened between Summers and Felix there. I think exchanging positions a little bit prematurely, but yeah, we'll stick on board with Pipkey just see if we could see what's happening at the front here. It looks like he has gone again the same place as last time. Stewart up front has not been called out. We do have Felix and Summers exchanging positions, so a good restart there by Summers. And it looks like Jack is now going for a move on the outside of Summers, but just backs out, thinks better of that, and probably very wise. Still a long way to go in this race. We are only on lap number 8 of 27. There's still 20 laps to go, including the one that we are on. Coming up to the hairpin there. Pipkey going slightly wider than Poop Cannon, but I think getting a better drive coming out of that corner than Poop Cannon did. Bog now coming under pressure from Felix. Felix looks like a man possessed on this restart, as does Summers and Jack there, just battling away, coming through Spoon. Probably not the best place to do it, but sometimes if you get a chance, you've got to take it. Bog needs to get within that 1 second. Well, mind you, DRS will be enabled this lap, so... Oh, Stewart getting a 3-second time penalty already. That is going to hurt his race chances. Also, for Benny's point of view, it means that he doesn't have to battle him hard, can just literally let him go and follow him, which it looks like he has. Or well, whether he let him past or whether he just overtook, I'm not 100% sure, but obviously now the pressure is off of there. It's just Pipkey now clinging on to the back of Benny as well. Not much going on right now, so we'll go back to the front. Drink there, ready for the final. Going a little bit wide there by Benny. I don't know if that was a warning or not. We have a yellow flag. Why do we have a yellow flag now? Any ideas? Oh no, it's not, is it? It's just continuing from the safety car. Wonderful, this game. Okay, so Stewart will lead across the line, but obviously now with DRS enabled, I expect Benny to open that up, which he has done, and he should be able to breeze up the inside of Stewart now and take that position going into turn number 1, just keeping it nice and solid there. Okay, what overtakes do we have further back? There was quite a few, I think, happening under DRS, obviously being so close together. But yeah, some overtake. Let's get back to the front here, where I say Benny re-overtook Stewart and looks to be stretching his legs. Already out to about 3/4 of a, or over 3/4 of a second. Okay, just had some news in from little Mike. He looks like his wheel disconnected during the race, which is what caused his unfortunate retirement. So yeah, unfortunately we lost 2 drivers this week, potentially. Well, one down to not being able to get the wheel to work at all, and the other one with a disconnect during the race. So hopefully there's a potential update or something that's going to bring some stability, but we will have to wait and see. But yeah, condolences then, Mikey. Not a great race for you with the wheel disconnecting. Had that happen myself before. I think it was at Austria, heading up towards turn number 3. Just ended up going flat out into the wall, which was interesting. So, yeah, condolences, but we'll see you back fighting stronger again next week. Benny with a 1:32.0 has pulled out a gap of 1.6 seconds while I was wittering away on about Mikey there. But Stuart also looked like he was going to lose the pace to Pipkey, but Pipkey not able to hang on to it. But this has given Poop Cannon and Bogorowski a good chance to pull onto the back of them again now. So Bog had lost DRS, but now within that DRS zone. But Benny 2.2 seconds ahead. So he did have a lot of pace last night, reserving up into Division 1. So yeah, I expect him to be decent tonight. But Stuart causing a little bit of a bottleneck now. But what we will do, we'll go back to the tyres again because we'll see what's starting to go. But I mean, Benny and Stuart on exactly the same tyres, but Benny 2.7 seconds, 2.8 seconds quicker over 2 laps. Cassell picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But yeah, Pipkey in a good position with those hards. They are going to become the better tyre soonish. Same as Bogorowski as well, down in 5th. Right, so any moves are going to go on down here. Can we see any? I thought Felix might look for a move up the inside of Bogorowski there, but did not. But what we have got is Summers into the pits for a fresh set of hard tyres. 16 laps to go. He will take those to the end of the race, obviously unless we have another safety car. So Summers coming out, got a 19-second gap to Reliot in front, so we'll see what he can do on that. Keep our eyes peeled. But right, okay, so Benny now 3.3 seconds, 3.5 seconds clear, or 6.5 seconds clear really, if you look at it with that 3 second time penalty. But Pipkey hanging on to the coattails of Stewart, so only 0.2 behind. You got Poop Cannon 0.3 behind him, 0.4 is Bogorowski, 0.8 is Felix, 0.7 Kazingle, and then 0.6 and 0.7 Cassell and Cavolis. So literally we have 2nd to 9th in a nice train here, but it is so difficult to get that move done. Even with DRS and ERS, it doesn't guarantee an overtake. So Stewart into the pits. He is going to try the undercut. We've gone to a set of hards now to the end of the race, but we'll have a 1-lap undercut on Benny, so we'll have to wait and see whether that works or not. But Stewart now out of the pit lane in 11th position. So gap to the leader, let's have a look. Stewart is 24.6 seconds behind. So again, we will keep an eye on that to see how quickly that diminishes. So Benny still with, well, he's nearly a 4-second lead now, but Pipkey coming under pressure from Poop Cannon. But Pipkey's tyres are going to be fine for a few laps compared to Poop Cannon. But Poop Cannon does manage to drag his tyres out a little bit further than a lot of people, so we could see him go for an extra couple. Benny, what is he going to do? Is he going to pit and cover Stewart, or is he going to look at going a little bit further? The lead is still 24.9, so it's not really done much, and Stewart is into the pits to cover. Benny is in the pits to cover Stewart. So Pipkey will take the lead. Are we looking at Poop Cannon? Yeah, Poop Cannon is going to pit as well. So I think this is going to be the end of the medium runners coming in and going on to the hards. but then we still have the hard runners of Pipke, Bogarowski, Kazingal that need to change on to the mediums. Just want to keep an eye. So Stewart is there. So Stewart is ahead again of Poopcannon and Summers, and 3.6 behind Benny. So really nothing gained, really. Nothing lost, nothing gained. So yeah, I suppose you could say the net race leader, but in front of him he has Reliot, Setterwell, Kavolis and Cassell that don't actually need to pit again. So if they can get those hards to the end of the race, Benny has to overtake all of them to win. Okay, let's get up to the front and see what's going on. So Bog 1.5 seconds behind Pipke, so out of DRS unfortunately, which means that Kazingal behind is or will have the DRS, will use his DRS, which he has, he is. It doesn't close on Bog. I don't think there was a lot of ERS usage going on there. I think majority of people, when you are within DRS, you just recharge. But Benny there in 8th position and Stewart in 9th. So that shows the gap to there. But then we've got Poopcannon, who is 2.2 behind Stewart. So probably, yeah, I'd say that Poopcannon probably lost out by maybe a second and a half, because he was pretty close. I think he was right on the backside of Pipke, who was right on the rear wing of Stewart. So yeah, I think he's lost out a bit, but that gap sort of just hovering around the 2 seconds. We'll keep an eye there. Connor has closed up now on the field, but Felix on a fresh set of mediums in front of him. Romero 17 seconds back at the rear of the field there, on a set of mediums, so we'll be looking at nursing them to the end, and hopefully things will happen in front of him. So who is going to be the first to blink at the front? And we're pretty much at that point now where you could come in, strap a set of mediums on and go for the undercut, which I think the undercut going from hard to mediums is pretty big, in fairness. Speed differential on a fresh set of grippy medium tyres compared to old hard tyres can be huge. Benny there setting the fastest lap of the race, 7.6 seconds behind Reliot and closing. So Jack has now fallen 1.2 seconds behind Bog, so he'll be out of that DRS range. And to be honest, he's going to lose the position here as Cassell is looking for a move going up into the chicane. He breaks deep and late in there, but manages to keep the position. So a good move there by Kazingal. I don't think Jack is going to be very happy about that, and probably want to make it move back as quickly as he can. This will be where he'll look. Cassell obviously being outside of the Jack pits. So Jack is the first of the front runners to dump those hards and go onto the medium tyres. So he was not far behind. So again, we'll keep it at 31.2. Benny putting in fastest lap after fastest lap at the moment. I think everybody in front needs to look over. So Jack going for a set of softs. Yeah, softs. That's a brave move. Should have soft 10's got 11 laps. Ooh, I think he's going to struggle towards the end with the grip on this game. But we will see. But anyway, Bog was within the DRS of Pipke, but just seems to have lost a little bit. But we're just at that point in the track where it concertina's slightly, so timings can be slightly irrelevant. So Bog, so 1.1 behind, so he needs to close that to under the 1 second, coming up to the detection zone. So Bog using Romero's retired. Why is Romero retired? Where did that happen? That happened on out of the S's. Yeah. So we have a safety car. So I mean, Jack could be in a good position here actually. Just depends how quickly those softs go off and what everybody else has left to go on to. But for the likes of Bog, that is a complete and utter win. Because he will now potentially get pretty much a cheap pit stop under the safety car. But not just him, Pipke as well. Yay, look at that. How many places? This has fallen terribly for Benny, really. I think he was hoping to get past those cars in front of him once the under the safety car, but coming in, obviously putting a fresh set of medium tyres on, which is a sensible thing to do, but does now mean that everybody in front of him, other than Summers, is on fresh tyres. Cavolis going for a set of softs as well. Looks like, who was it went on to? It was Jack, wasn't it? Kazingle that went on to the softs. Looked like he's come in and changed his mind, put a set of mediums on. So everybody now will obviously be going to the end. 10 laps including the one that we are on, 9 laps when we cross the line. It's still anyone's race, to be honest with you. Absolutely anyone's race. But we've got the front 3 now on fresh mediums that will make it easily to the end of the race. Summers on 6-lap-old hards, which just getting the heat into those tyres does mean he's probably going to be a little bit susceptible under the restart. Certainly to Cavolis on a fresh set of soft tyres behind him. He'll then be looking at trying to fight off set of Aurelia, probably for a lap or so, just to get the heat into those tyres, but can then take it to the end. But yeah, we've got anyone in the top 9, top 10, top 11. Yeah, anybody could win this. We've seen mad things happen at Japan before. You know, I'm not writing anything out at the moment. All I can say is Pipke leading the way, Bogorovsky in second. Safety car's not in, is it? No. Yeah, Bogorovsky in second. Cassell in third position. Summers in fourth. Cavolis in fifth. Setable sixth. Seventh, Reliot. Benny in eighth. Ninth, Magic Poop Cannon. 10th, Felix the Pirate. 11th, TGL Stewart. And 12th, Kazingle. So not good for the McLaren, the Mercedes at the moment in 11th and 12th. And the Ferraris in 7th and 10th, but will only be scoring the points for 7th position as we stand. Felix picking up a point in the Drivers' Championship for himself, but reserves points do not count towards the Constructors' titles now. So fingers crossed we will have the safety car in at the end of this lap, which will give us 8 racing laps to go in round number 8. So next week we are at, where are we next week actually? I think it's at Hungary next week for the all-tyre compound. Again, just to explain that in advance for anyone listening for next week. you have to use every single tyre compound within the race, literally as it says. Qualifying as standard, you use your softs as per normal, but during the race you will have to use a set of softs, a set of mediums, and a set of hard tyres at some point during the race. Obviously we did have the discussion about whether it was wet, what that would mean, so to make it easier, what we have done is set the conditions to dry. So there will be no rain next week, but you will have to use all three compounds, so you really need to use that strategically if you can, and again can be completely ruined by a safety car. So it doesn't look like we're going to come in. Oh, that is really late. That is a very, very late notification, but safety car is coming in this lap. Pipkey backing up the field now. Bogorovsky ready to go. He's gone early, very early. And Bog seems to have caught Cassell absolutely napping. 1.2 seconds behind now Bogorovsky. But yeah, Pipkey and Bog getting away really well. A bit further back, Benny making the move already on Aurelia coming into the center S's, so Benny up into 7th position. Kavolis on those softs will be wanting to get past Summers as quick as he can. But Summers seems to have actually lit those hards up, certainly enough to not let any cars past him. Lost a bit of ground, I mean nearly 2 seconds to Cassell, but managing to hang on to that 4th position at the moment. We'll see whether that changes once the DRS is enabled. Magic Poop Cannon picking up a 3-second time penalty and dropping down the field, so it looks like there was some contact there as well. But TGL Stewart and Relia up into 9th and 10th, Poop Cannon down into 11th. And as I say, I can't see anything missing there. But right, let's go back to the front. Pipkey has stretched his legs a little bit, pulled out just over that 1 second. But as I say, DRS will be enabled this lap, which means you won't be able to really use it until you start, or just before you start the next lap, because of where the detection zone is just there. The DRS now enabled, as we said. Right, so Bog needs to try and close this down, just keep that under a second. Kavolis now making that move on Summers, which I thought he would under the safety car. Stewart as well, getting past Felix. But Zetterwall now making a move on Summers as well. Or was that Benny? I'm completely lost where we have two Williams together. But yeah, so Benny is the second there. So Summers losing the position to Kavolis. I think Benny getting past Setterwell just to try and get that right. Jack picking up a 3-second time penalty at the back of the grid. We have to remember Cassell has that 3-second time penalty as well in 3rd position. So Benny and Summers exchanging positions there. I wouldn't say it was team orders, but I think it was perhaps a mutual agreement and understanding, with Zetterville going really, really deep into the second part of Spoon there. And unfortunately, it looks like Summers followed him in, and that has allowed Stewart to close right onto the back. So it's just getting quite exciting towards the end with the grid closing up. Cassell closing onto the back of Bogorovsky. But so Bog just needs to remember that Cassell has that 3-second time penalty, so he doesn't need to finish ahead of him, just needs to finish behind him and within 3 seconds. Bog closing up slightly on Pipkey now as well. So we've got a couple of groups going on. Seems like we've got that lead group of sort of 3 are breaking away slightly. Then we've got Kavolis pretty much in between the 2 groups, on his own in 4th, and then we've got 5th Benny, Zettervall, Summers and Stewart all fighting away, with Felix not far behind, with Reliat, Poop Cannon and Kazingle all in tow. Although Jack has now come into the pits. I think he's put this down as a bad day and just going for the fastest lap. No longer get a point for it, but it is still bragging rights. Let's jump back to the front here. So Bogorovsky coming under, increasing pressure from Kozel, but just needs to that little bit more. 1.1 behind Pipke, just needs to get that under a second, just at the detection line, and then he can use his DRS and hopefully recover some of that battery. But unfortunately, he hasn't. We're still at about 1.1 seconds, so no DRS for Bogorovsky on this lap. Yeah, Cavoli's fastest lap there took 3/4 of a second out of them. So Bog just needs to now stick with Cassell and make sure Cavolis doesn't get him from behind. I think Cavolis' tyres are going to start to go soon. I don't think the softs last very long around Suzuka. Quite a grippy circuit, so I think it will eat the rubber up. And Cassell has that 3-second time penalty as well. So Bog looking in a good position for a podium at the moment, but Benny also now on the charge up into 5th position, 2.3 seconds behind Cavolis and closing. So again, this is still far from over. And the top 3 are now within DRS of each other. This could work to their advantage, where they could potentially look to pull away from Cavolis and Benny, who don't have that DRS. Right, so Bog and Cassell both within DRS of Pipke here. So the 3 of them could potentially use it to pull away. That gap between Cavolis now down to 1.5 seconds. So he really is eating into it on the soft tyres. But has he got another 4 laps left in him? Certainly at that speed. I doubt it. But there we go. The gap has gone up, obviously due to the DRS. But it's through these sections where I think Cavolis will find time, obviously with better grip on those soft tyres. I mean, parity there, to be honest with you. So I do wonder if we're at a stage now where the mediums and softs are pretty much in a similar operating window. 30.683 by Kazingal there, so it does get the fastest lap of the race so far. But unfortunately, my friends, you do not get a point for that any longer. But as I say, you have the bragging rights, and your name will be displayed at the end with the fastest lap. Okay, so Zetoval up into 6th position, again playing his joker, so looking very bright for him, and Cavolis as well in 4th position. Cassell now making the move on Pipke up into the lead. I wonder if that was fairly tactical from Pipke, whether it was just before to get that DRS or not. Did he get it? Did he get it? Did he? Yes, he did. So yeah, I think that was fairly tactical, to be honest with you. Sit behind Cassell. Use that DRS to make the overtake, but not something you can use on the last lap. So Relia into the pits as well. Not been a great day for him in Japan, but we'll, as I say, bolt on a set of softs and just go and have a little bit of fun for a couple of races. Looks like, is he serving a penalty there, or is there an issue? Not sure, but he's back out before Jack, so again, those two are normally in a party together, so I'm sure that will be an interesting chat. Right, Bog, what can you do sitting there in third position with Cavolis now sniffing your backside? Benny 1.1 seconds further back and has brought Zetterable with him as well. My goodness me, we could end up with potentially a six-way battle for the win here at Suzuka. There we are, the top six all within pretty much one screenshot. There we go. Great racing, minimal penalties as well. So we've seen a couple of safety cars, but unfortunately one was for Wazza, as I say, going straight on at the hairpin. Next one was Mikey, as I say, just the wheel disconnected, and I think he might have hit grass when the wheel had disconnected and it just launched the car sideways. But as I say, unfortunate for the Alpine boys. But I'm sure they'll be back next week. And the Red Bull Racing of Romero, unfortunately, or the Racing Bulls, whatever you want to call them, Red Bull 2, unfortunately not finishing, retiring on lap number 6. It looked like it was through the final part of the Senna S's. So there we go, top 6 now. Nothing between them. It's all going to come down to who's safe tyres, who's the bravest, and potentially who has the lowest downforce down the straight. But so for Zetterable, he's got to pass 5 cars. Benny got to get past 4. Not an easy task on this race, but Cassell again taking the lead, but all that is going to do is give Pipke the DRS, and he is going to overtake him straight away. Bogorovsky now becoming a little bit vulnerable from behind. Cavolis still looking dangerous on those 9-lap-old soft tyres. Perhaps they don't go off as quickly as I would have thought. And considering we are now on the final lap of the Grand Prix, this is where it's going to get spicy, if at all. But yeah, Pipke leading the way. Cassell in second, but does have, I think it's just 3 penalties. Oh, he's got 6 seconds of penalties. That's going to hurt even more. So that is going to drop him. He's going to drop him down to 6, I think. So not too bad in the scheme of things. But obviously, when you're potentially fighting for the win, it is very, very painful. But it does mean that Bogorovsky would jump up a place, as would obviously Cavolis, Benny, and Zetterable. Stewart and Poop Cannon both with their own 3-second pens, so they're probably likely to drop a position. Poop Cannon certainly will. But anyway, Cavolis and Benny battling away. Is anyone going to go for a move up here? Pipke this time not allowing Cassell to come past him. So Pipke is going to take the win. Many, many congratulations to him. Second place to Cassell, well, to Bogorovsky. Third place will go to Cavolis. Fourth place will go to Cassell. He will keep that, so well done to him. Stewart, hold on, let me wait for it to update. Excuse me. Okay, so Benny did get 5th, Felix got 6th, 7th, Stewart 8th, Zetterable 9th, Summers 10th, Magic Poop Cannon 11th went to Reliot, and Kazingle retiring on the final lap. Can only assume he crashed, but has now left the session. So there we are, Pipke picking up the win. Congratulations to him. Okay, so here we go. Race winner going to Pipke, fastest lap to Reliant, driver of the day, and most overtakes to Cavolis, and cleanest driver to D Summers. Right, so a quick look at the results. So Pipke winning, Bogorovsky in second, Cavolis third, fourth Cassell, fifth Benny, sixth is Felix, seventh Stewart, eighth Zetival, ninth Summers, 10th Magic Poop Cannon, 11th Reliant, 12th Kazingle, 13th Romero is the first of the non-finishers, along with Little Mikey and Wazza for the Alpine. So that brings to a close round number 8 of Delta T Racing Division 2. So once you finish with this, please pop over to the website and give some support for the Division 3 stream, which would be finishing around about the same time. So thank you for joining me. We'll be back next week for round number 9 from the Hungaroring in Hungary for the all-tyre compound race. I hope you'll join me. I've enjoyed tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.